was a dumb move by a dumb man.
Do something about it.
Alright, with Season 4 in the works and a Negley spinoff on the horizon, fans are already hyped about what's coming next. This season, we saw Jack Reacher, played by Alan Ritchson, take down a drug smuggling operation in Persuader. But that finale? Yeah, it definitely dropped a few sneaky hints about where Reacher might be heading next. Let's dive into how this season tees up his next big mission, and point out a few subtle clues you might have missed along the way. Season 3 of Reacher really leaned into the personal side of things, with Jack going after Quinn, a ghost from his military past, in Persuader. That whole vendetta was the emotional backbone of the season, and while the finale wrapped that arc up pretty neatly, there's this little breadcrumb about his old unit, the 110th, that sticks around. It definitely feels like Reacher's past isn't done messing with him just yet. That could mean Season 4 digs even deeper into his military history. A lot of fans are eyeing Die Trying, Book 2 in the series, where Reacher runs into a militia with some ties to his past. It would totally make sense as a next step. And then there's Frances Negley. Maria Sten crushed it in Season 3, even though Negley wasn't in the original Persuader book. Her presence was a welcome addition, and now she's got her own spin-off series Negley in the works according to Variety. In the finale, Reacher tells her, "Call if you need me," after she heads back to her PI gig in Chicago. That sounds like a setup for a crossover, or at least a cameo in Season 4. Could her case end up dragging Reacher into another mess? Meanwhile, author Lee Child recently told Tech Radar that he's eyeing the Midnight Line for the next season. That's one more of a slow burn. Reacher chasing a stolen ring across Wyoming. It's not as action-heavy, but it vibes with Season 3's more personal, justice-driven theme. Reacher's final line, "I'll keep moving," really echoes that quieter, introspective tone. There's still chatter about adapting One Shot, but the Midnight Line feels more aligned with where the show is headed. Now, you might be wondering why all these clues matter. Well, Reacher Season 3 pulled in a whopping 54.6 million viewers, and Season 4 is set to start filming this summer. So, Prime Video is all in. The hints about past enemies, Negley spinoff, and the shift in tone, they're pointing toward a fresh evolution for Reacher's story. Expect Season 4 sometime in early 2026. And here's another fun piece of the puzzle. Maxwell Jenkins, who played young Reacher in Season 1, recently spoke to Screen Rant about possibly returning. He said he hasn't been asked back yet, but he'd be totally down. He loved working on the show, still watches it, and is a huge fan of Alan Ritchson. So yeah, it wouldn't take much to bring him back. As for whether we'll actually see young Reacher again, that's up in the air. Season 1 used flashbacks to show Reacher as a kid, especially moments with his brother Joe. Those scenes help build his backstory and show where his sense of justice came from. While Seasons 2 and 3 didn't really use childhood flashbacks, it's possible Season 4 might, depending on which book they adapt. So when we get to the final showdown in Season 3, things really start to heat up. After they get misled into thinking the gun deal was going down at the salvage yard, Reacher and his DEA partners, Duffy and Villanueva, have to think on their feet. Lucky for them, Quinn's crew ends up in a shootout with the ATF, which creates enough chaos for Reacher's team to hijack a couple of trucks heading toward Beck's mansion. They manage to sneak onto the estate without tipping off the guards, especially Paulie, the massive enforcer who seems like he could flatten a truck with his bare hands. But Paulie's no fool. He starts getting suspicious when he notices one of the trucks parked in the wrong spot. That's when Reacher steps in, realizing that Paulie isn't someone the others can handle. So, while Negley and the DEA agents head into the house, Reacher stays behind to face off with the Human Mountain. Inside the house, Negley cleverly goes undercover as a waiter, while Duffy searches for Teresa and Villanueva tries to find Richard. Of course, nothing ever goes according to plan. Just as Duffy reaches Teresa, Quinn's buyer, Nasser, walks in and decides he's going to enjoy her company before the deal. Duffy hesitates, because if she kills Nasser, it could tip off everyone in the house. But she eventually decides it's worth the risk, and takes him out. From that point on, things move fast. Reacher nearly catches Quinn, but then the Russian mob, who Quinn owes money to, shows up and tries to take him away. Reacher doesn't take chances this time. The whole one-shot do-it-right advice he got from his old C.O. Garber, he didn't follow it before, and Quinn survived. So now, when he gets the chance, Reacher uses a shotgun because he's not leaving anything to chance. Symbolically, it's like Reacher is making sure there are no more loose ends, no more games, just justice. Meanwhile, Negley steps up in a big way. She convinces the Russian mob to leave Quinn behind by offering up the money Quinn was supposed to earn from his arms deal. Oh, and she also tosses in a diffused grenade as a little "don't mess with us" bonus. Once the mob backs off, Reacher has his moment. He makes Quinn remember exactly how he killed Dominique Cole, and then, without hesitation, ends it for good. While all this is going on, Reacher still has to deal with Paulie, and let's just say, that guy doesn't go down easy. The showdown between Reacher and Paulie is one of the most intense scenes of the whole season. Paulie is a towering figure, a 7-foot monster who doesn't just punch, he demolishes. During their fight, they both end up in a rock pit that was once used to dispose of bodies. Talk about symbolism. Thing is, Paulie had plenty of chances to kill Reacher, but his massive ego got in the way. He wanted a man-to-man fight instead of just shooting Reacher when he had the chance. That gave Reacher the opening he needed. Reacher appears to drown Paulie in his pit, but somehow the brute survives and returns for a second round inside the mansion's guardhouse. But this time, Reacher uses both brains and brawn. In a clever move, he plugs the barrel of a gun using a bullet from Paulie's belt. Then, during the fight, he tricks Paulie into using it. When Paulie pulls the trigger, the gun explodes, killing him instantly. Reacher's final words? "You may be bigger and stronger, but I'm smarter." Classic. After the dust settles, Negley reflects on Reacher's motivations. She says he doesn't just do what he does because he wants to help people or protect the little guy. Nope, it's because he hates those big, arrogant types who think they can do whatever they want and get away with it. The line actually comes from the book Persuader, and it hits differently when Negley says it. It's like she finally understands what really drives him. That moment also tells us a lot about Reacher. He's not some clean-cut hero. He's messy, rough around the edges, and fueled by a personal sense of justice that doesn't always come from a good place. But despite all that, he still ends up doing the right thing, even if it's for the wrong reasons. And let's not forget that not everyone makes it out of Season 3 alive, though. While Villanueva thankfully survives and even retires from the DEA, other characters like Paulie, Quinn, and Nasser meet their well-deserved ends. Sadly, Zachary Beck doesn't survive either. Even though he redeems himself by helping the heroes and expressing pride in his son, he dies trying to protect Richard. It's a tragic end for someone who started on the wrong side but tried to do right in the end, kind of like Russo in Season 2. And let's be honest, Negley's probably coming back too. She's been in every season so far, and with her own spin-off on the horizon, it looks like we're only getting more of that dynamic duo. Because with Reacher, you know how it goes. He doesn't look for trouble, but trouble, it always finds him. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.